you got to see this. This is what you have to see. Brutal armored combat fighting. This is large gentlemen with balls much heavier and larger in circumference than mine, putting on full suits of armor, donning the steel plate, the metal greaves, the gauntlets, the spalders across the chest, the chainmail, and pulling out a giant greatsword and whacking someone else equipped with all of this stuff. Would you guys ever think about doing something that crazy?
I would think about it. The crazy thing is, I'm like, I just started watching the video. This is the first time I watched it, and it just looks like everybody in that room is injured. Even the audience is injured. Everyone's just fucking.
This is a 1600s replication from the people to the crowd. You know, everyone was hurt back then, but they just lived through it to the age of 23.
And then died. From probably swords. They tapped out. So how do you win this, Luke?
This is, you have, I found on the YouTube, doing research of going down the YouTube rabbit hole, I came across this video. Okay, let me check this out. I see two fully dressed knights going at it with these hand axes, and like, holy, that's a big dude right there. And they're just whacking each other, and it's just one-on-one combat in that scenario that I fought, and I was just entranced by it. I was captivated. It's like, oh my God, I feel like I'm back in like the Coliseum, watching two people fighting for their lives in a way. And I'm just living it up, like just feeling great about it.
So that's super interesting because like this isn't to the death, obviously.
Not this one.
Not this
the
one.
Championships, yeah.
The championship, it's all or nothing. But there must be some sort of fascination for violence in sport. Like it's something built into human nature, right? Because I felt the same way. I was watching, you were talking, and I was like, I think I'm just going to watch the rest of this video.
Yeah.
But it was crazy that playoff game last night. Buda Baker got a huge concussion, and I was reading the Twitter feed after, and a lot of people were saying, I love football and I watch every single game, but when I see an injury like this, it makes me think twice about watching it. So it's weird how subconsciously you can just enjoy football so much, and then something really bad happens. And I'm watching this sport, and it's like the Buda Baker concussion over and over and over again.
Multiple times within, however long the runs are, if it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or 60 seconds of just brutality, just full power swings to the head. And it scares the ever-loving piss out of me. It does.
Okay, so going back to your original question, would you do this?
Would I do this? No, not unless I had to. And that's, I would think that going back to those times, those people did it because they had to, for whatever reasons, right. Because their king was like, defend my honor, you there, Sir Knight. And then they just go off and, fight another night, and someone's head gets chopped off, and someone gets to sleep at the brothel with all the maidens of the...
Until the next tournament.
Yeah, and here, they get all the biker chicks or something. I don't know. But this is a global thing. It's not just like, woo, United States, yeah! Like, this is a worldwide thing that people do, because it's based off of the European medieval pre-17th century, so 1600s and before, about that kind of...
They look real.
Like it is. Everything's handcrafted. I watched another video.
What?
This guy was like, yeah, I've been the armorer here for, a couple decades, and it takes me 5-6 months to create a full piece of armor, or a full suit of armor that is, combat ready. And it's serious stuff.
This is LARPing on crack.
Yes. Yeah, LARPing holds no candle to this. Oh, lightning bolt. And they're throwing little Nerf darts at each other, or like foam swords.
Yeah, exactly. So this guy takes like a couple shots to like the elbow to certain joints, like how does he, what is it underneath? I get armor. I get that. But this is not stunt fighting. This is trying to hurt the other person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, know what's under there?
What?
manliness, just pure manliness.
Iron.
Iron testicles.
Iron machismo.
He's got an anvil that he sleeps on. They're so battle hardened and probably barreled. It's just like what you think of a man, and you're thinking back to like 5 years ago what men really were.
Do you think this could ever? We should go back to that subject in a second, but do you think this could ever go more mainstream? Like I see, it's a small room, kind of like at a garage. It's padded floors, and they set up kind of a corral of wood. So I think they probably use
these padded floors,
padded floor, dirt floor, gravel floor.
Authentic.
But like, there's probably 100, maybe there's 75 to 100 people in here watching. Do you think this ever goes mainstream? And there's 5 million views on this.
Yeah, there's obviously people interested in the combat, and that's what I came across. Is like, man, I wonder if this will ever blow up. I mean, I know about it now, so obviously it has blown up. In my world, and you always find that like as soon as you start hyper focusing on whatever event or activity, like, oh shit, there's a lot of people like me that like this stuff. I think eventually, people are gonna be like, just like it's like this could be the new MMA. This could be a new boxing. Prize fighters and stuff. And but as of right now, I remember, and it didn't come back to me until I was looking through all this stuff. I was like, wait, my brother mentioned he used to work with a guy that did this.
Wow.
And this was 15 years ago, so it's been around. Yeah. And I think when I was coming through, like it kind of started surfacing in like the mid 90s. Okay. So
blacksmithing's been around for hundreds of years. So swords have been around forever.
But for nut jobs to, I probably shouldn't say that because.
Go ahead and say that.
Because nut jobs are crazy enough to do this. I mean, maybe it's the only thing that makes them feel alive, and more power to them. I enjoy watching it, but I have the highest respect for anyone that chooses to do that, and even any kind of combat sport, like. Jesus Christ, that's either you're tough or you're dumb.
One versus one, looking across at an opponent and intending to do physical harm to them. Like I've never been in that scenario. I know there's so many people out there who do it recreationally. There's a lot of people who have aspirations for it. I think it's probably something that almost people should go through at least one. Like there should be like a benchmark in America where you don't go into the military, but like you have to get into like one fight. Like if you're like graduated high school, like they just take all the high school students into a room and it's just like, which one of you have been fights? And like anybody who doesn't raise their hand, like, okay, you guys can leave the room. And then everyone else is just like, if you want to get out here and go to college, you got to fight everybody in here. And just brawl.
2 men enter, 1 man leave, or something like that.
Exactly. But it's interesting because like just to suit up, and I mean, boxing, no armor. Football, some armor. Like this is a lot of armor, but like at the same time, this feels like the most damage I've ever seen somebody else give.
And there are rules. I'll go through the rules real quick. I'm just going to skim through. So it's 3 rounds per match, 60 seconds per round, 60-second rest in between each round. So you're looking at 5 minutes of your life right there if you go the whole time. If a competitor wins the first 2 rounds, the match is over. So it's best out of 3. So then there's counted strikes. So each successful edge strike, if someone you get a point for an edge strike, you get a point if someone falls, you get 2 points if you disarm your opponent. If you do a half strike and it's permitted, I think that's when you kind of like like two-handed with and I think these are sword rules, and there's axe rules, pole arm rules, butt strikes. So if you attack with the bottom of the handle. You can push with your weapon. Only strikes with both hands on the weapon count. Strikes to hands are worth 0, so you can't attack the hands, but you can attack like the elbows and stuff. Strikes to the groin and feet are forbidden. Strikes to behind the knee are forbidden. Strikes to a grounded opponent is forbidden. So there's some respect in
just beat down.
Yeah, it's like, oh, guy's down. Okay, I'm gonna take him because you're getting a point if he goes down anyway. So it doesn't help. Grabbing opponent with opponent or their weapon with your hand is forbidden. So you can't grab with your hand, but you can like kind of like if you have like a pole arm with a hook on it, and
this guy had an axe that had the kind of dropped.
Yeah, so he was using it to, and that's Simon Rorich. If you want to look him up on TV, Rorich, Rohrich, or Rorich maybe. I beg your forgiveness if I got that wrong. If punches are permitted, but there's still 0 points. Kicks are permitted, but there's 0 points. And then clinches are broken after 3 seconds. So if you can get some inside, work the inside, rope a dope, But yeah, so I mean, there are rules. I also saw a 30 versus 30 combat, capture the flag.
What?
So it was like this big event. They were picking like countries, like kind of split everyone up, and they have announcers too, and like they make a whole event out of it. Everyone, like crowds getting into it, announcers are getting into it. It's just you got to see it.
How do you get eliminated? Oh man, so many questions.
That
little
I didn't
time.
pick up. It's like I don't know if it's if you go down, you're out, or if if they decide like what a
Kill
mortal strike is.
Yeah, mortal strike. Yeah, like maybe a body hit, or if you're on the ground and somebody like just touches the sword. Wow,
that's
man,
crazy.
And what is the name of the sport? What is that? Does it have a organized?
There's multiple names. Let me find them here. So let me go through it. I had it all. We got brutal armored combat, or armored combat sports, or medieval combat, or heavy combat, or SCA armored combat. That's the English armored
Got it.
UR, which is SCA is Society for Creative Anachronism, that is just people that live in the past.
Oh yeah.
And then Simon Rorich on YouTube is where I found it, and Society for Creative Anarchism. There's 30,000 paid members of this society across the world, and about 60,000 like total participants. Like whenever there's events, but 30,000 people bought in to this lifestyle.
A suit of armor cannot be cheap, so it's clearly got some money in it.
Yeah.
Well, that's fascinating. I would go to a live event.
Yeah,
so we're gonna have to keep an eye out for that.
I had this question, so I was looking at a map, and they have clubs and groups across the United States and around the world, and there's some L.A. You got then you got like the Cincinnati Barbarians. There's some up in Detroit. There's someone in Columbus. There's no one in Cleveland.
Oh man,
we can lay claim to the Cleveland Club,
the Velocity Chaos Combat Club.
Yes, we could be the first.
People be like, "Oh no, Velocity Chaos is coming!" Oh no, and just smash them. We got horses. Just charge it on cavalry.
Yeah, but we can start a club here. We can
Super
be the first
Bowl
club
every
in
year.
Cleveland.
Combat Sports Super Bowl every year.
And I did come across another thing, full armored jousting.
Oh yeah,
that is also freaking crazy. I couldn't imagine that. You're riding on this horse towards something like this was stuff that they did.
Yeah.
For pride or whatever back in the day, like people, we have technology, we have clean water, we have luxuries. You don't need to be doing this.
It's the high.
It's the high. That's
Mo
what it all comes
Tater's
back
really
to.
excited about this one.
What do you got, Mo Taters?
Dude, it says there's clubs all the way in Saskatchewan, Alberta, California, the whole deal. There's over, like you said, there's over 30,000 people here. Like, there's people taking this seriously.
It's so like
I would take them seriously, taking this seriously.
Yeah.
Here's our next goal. There's even Fighters of the Month.
That's the thing.
Fighters of the Month.
I nominate Nick.
For what? I haven't been in a fight.
I'll be your manager.
You could be my squire.
Okay. As long as I don't got to take a sword to the face. I appreciate it.
Oh, man.
Or maybe what we could do is like you could stack on my shoulders or something, or I'll go on your shoulders. And then like, oh my God.
It should be like tag team, like tag, like like a tag team kind of deal. That'd be cool too. Oh man.